Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name's Bettina and I'm the makeup enthusiast. In today's video, I'm back with another first impressions. It's my first impression thoughts on the Kaleidos Makeup Futurism I. This is the Sci-Fi Green Palette. So I'm going to do a look using this palette. I'm going to show you swatches. And I'm also going to show you my initial thoughts of this palette. I will leave linked up in the cards here my first video that I did. I used the Futurism I, which is the Astro Pink palette. I did a look, swatches, first impression thoughts on that one as well. So I'll leave that up in the corner so you can go check that one out. This is what the Futurism Green palette looks like. This is what the packaging looks like. They're all very like in theme with each other. I like how they've broken all the palettes up into 3 separate palettes, but then they've all got a color theme, but they still all fit well together in that color theme. So opening this one up, same deal again. We have a mirror and we also have a little plastic slip with the shade names on it, and then here are all of the 6 shades in here. So I'm going to swatch these for you. So in this one there is a matte black. In the Futurism I palette there is a black with a glitter in it. This one has a matte black in it. So I do like the fact that they have put different colours across all the 3 palettes. There's no like double ups on colours, but I don't really think we need a matte black as well as a black with a shimmer in it between the 3 palettes. Let me roll up my sleeves for the swatches. Looking in the pan, the 2 shimmers look quite similar, and these two darker greens here look quite similar. So I'm interested to see how they swatch. So starting off, we have Radioactive. Then we have Nuclear, Glamora, and Smog. I traditionally don't really go for greens like this, so I'm excited to play with these colors because I traditionally don't grab for these color greens, even though they probably do look really nice with my eyes. Green's just never really been a color that's always grabbed my attention. The last 2 are E.T. and Dark Side. That's all of the swatches there, so very like green based. It does have a bit of the Gemini palette vibe, just in a more condensed version. There are a few colours in the Gemini palette that like aren't in this colour scheme here, but if you're wanting like a more condensed version, I guess you could say, or if you're not really wanting to support melt or anything like that, this could potentially be a palette that you could go for. So I'm just going to quickly show you some close-up swatches, clean my arm off, and then we'll get into the palette. I am going to try and use every single colour like I did with the first palette. Let's clip my hair back a bit so it's out of the way somewhat. I'm going to start off by priming my eyes with my MAC paint pot as per usual. This one's in my project pan and I feel like I'm finally starting to see some signs of progress on it. MAC paint pots take forever to use up. Now I think for today I'm going to try and leave my base a little bit sticky, so I'm just going to set just this top half here between like my crease and my brow bone. I do this just so it makes it a little bit easier to blend up, and it makes it blend out a bit nicer because it doesn't have that stick from the base. It just makes blending a little bit easier because it's already set and the shadows kind of slip on the base better rather than having that real grip to it. I might start with the obvious one of Radioactive in the crease. Oh, that's a bit more pigmented than I thought it would be. I'm just going to swap out my brush because that one is hella scratchy. I'm just going to switch to my Hello Cosmetics blending brush. It's a bit bigger. And I'm just going to blend that up towards the brow bone with circular motions just to diffuse the colour a little bit. Just throwing it at myself. I feel like this is a very good name for this colour, Radioactive. I traditionally don't really like colours like this, but I mean, I'm not hating it. So I think I'm going to put Nuclear on my inner corner, which is the goldier out of the shimmers. Glamora on my lid. And then in terms of the last three, Smog, E.T. and Dark Side, I'm thinking about maybe winging out quite a precise wing with the black. And then E.T. and Dark Side, I might put one on my lower lash line and one. So I might take E.T., which is the darker of the two greens, and pop that on my outer half of my lid. These are definitely a bit harder to blend with a sticky base, which is an obvious statement to make, I know, but if you like I guess an easier, more seamless blend, I would probably recommend a dry base because it's just easier, and they actually they work quite well on a dry base. And I think if you want to have the shimmers really intense, I think you can definitely add like the stick to it in the spots where you want the shimmer to be extra, which is how I'm going to do my eyes in the next video. I just wanted to work with these palettes a couple of different ways to kind of get a really good understanding of the best way that they work. I generally enjoy working with mattes more when they're not sticky, not on a sticky base. It just makes it easier to blend them. I know you don't necessarily get the most colour payoff, but I think it's definitely a lot easier. You definitely get a more seamless blend. I'm just bringing that in a little bit in the crease. Now I'm going to take my tiny little Super Beauty smudger brush just to map out that wing a little bit. This is like a really dense small brush, and the black's going to stay, like, go where I want it to go with this. So I'm going to drag it out from the lower lash line basically and into the crease, I guess. So I've got the basic shape down. Not sure, once again, the black in this palette I'm not 100% happy with. I'm gonna go back in with ET and just get this green back here and blend out these edges with the black and blend the green into the black. And just on that same brush, I'm dipping into the black a little bit, just blending the black into the green because it's not blended together all that nicely in my eyes. I must say the blacks in these palettes are not my favourite, but I traditionally don't work with black all that much. I'm not the biggest fan of it. I'd rather work with like a dark burgundy or something like that than just a straight black. Going back in with that original fluffy brush with Radioactive on it and just blending this top edge, trying not to let it get too muddy. So I'm just going in with Glamora and I'm popping this all over my lid. That is, oh my god, that's a pretty colour. Oh my god. How pretty is that? Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Wow. I'm lost for words. Oh my god, that is beautiful. That is stunning. That is absolutely stunning. I'm getting a tiny little bit of fallout, but not too much. And I'm just going to go back into ET, just on this edge here, where the green shimmer meets the black. I'm just going to add the ET again, just to blend them into each other. I'm not sure how I feel about this look. I'm not enjoying the black, to be honest. I'm going to jump off camera and do my base and highlight and blush and contour and all that, and then I'll come back to do the lower lash line, and hopefully might look a little less messy, maybe. So I'll be back in a second. So I've done my base. I tried to like bake my contour for like the first time, and I don't think it was really the right powder, so it looks super patchy in this area, but I'm just gonna leave it. I'm gonna run with it, but I don't think I'll try that again with that powder. Anyway, so I'm going to finish off the rest of my eyes. I haven't done anything with my eyes. I think I'm just gonna leave it the way it is in terms of like eyeliner on the top line. So just with my little Super Beauty smudge brush, you guys know this is my favorite brush to do lower lash line work with. Firstly, I'm going to dip into Dark Side, which is the black. And I'm just going to run this on the outer corner just to connect it with the top lash line. Just a little bit on the outer corner. And then dipping into Smog for the remainder of the lower lash line. This is the lighter of the two greens. And then on the inner corner, I'm going to take Nuclear, which is the last colour out of the palette that I have not used yet. And I'm just going to pop that all over the inner corner and pull it down a little bit towards my lower lash line and up to blend it into the lid colour. It's a very pretty colour as well. It pairs really well with that green colour, Glamora, which I just accidentally put on my brush. To keep everything nice and dark and smoky, I'm just going in with a black liner, top and bottom waterline. So this is the final look that I came up with. So my first impressions on the Sci-Fi Green, which is the Futurism I palette. I really like this palette. I was pleasantly surprised. Like I said at the start of the video, I generally don't grab for these colors, so that's one of the main reasons why I grabbed this palette, because I was really interested to play with colors like this, because it's not really anything else that I have in my collection. I am not the biggest fan of the black, as you probably discovered while I was doing the look. I mean, it doesn't look terrible, but it was a bit of work, and I think in terms of the intensity, it kind of, I don't know, I don't really enjoy it. It does look nice overall. Oh gosh. It does look nice overall. I think the look turned out really nicely. Just the black was a little bit of work, and I mean, it doesn't look the most precise, I think, and in terms of blendability, it is a little bit more trickier to work with this black. In terms of the other colors, I really like them, especially this like mossy green goldy color. It is beautiful. I was really surprised by that color, and the way it pairs with the gold, I really like that. And then the matte greens, I really like them, and this like radioactive color here I think is beautiful. So I'm looking forward to playing with this palette again, potentially without using the black, because like I said, I don't generally like to use black in eyeshadow looks. I would rather go with more of like a darker color like this to deepen up the outer corner, like a navy or a burgundy or like a blackened green. That's the type of color I prefer for outer corner deepening over a black. I think this could potentially be a really nice black if you just use it ever so slightly just to deepen up the outer corner, but in terms of doing like a really nice winged out look like I have today, I don't think it's the best black. I think it can go patchy really easily. It can be hard to blend, so I'm not the biggest fan of it. But the other colors are really nice. I really like how this look turned out. The next time I use these, I want to feature these darker greens here more. I feel like the black kind of just overpowered everything in terms of the rest of the mattes. You can slightly see the radioactive color on the top of the black, but in terms of the other two colors, the smog and the ET color, these two darker greens here, the blacks kind of drown them out, which is pretty disappointing. So I'm going to play with this one a bit more without using the black and see what I can create, but I'm really excited to play with this palette. Same as the Futurism I, the Astro Pink palette, the shimmers are beautiful. The shimmers are just out of this world. I have found with the shimmers using more of like a fluffy brush, like this is probably a brush that I would traditionally use for blending because it is like pinched and you can use it to get in your crease. This picks up the perfect amount of that shimmer and lays it down perfectly. So if you are having trouble getting good payoff with these shimmers, maybe try a little bit of a fluffier brush because it works perfectly with the shimmers. And I found that I didn't get a lot of the kick up with the shimmers when I used the fluffier brush, because generally with shimmers I will wiggle them a little bit in the pan. Sometimes you can find when you do that technique with shimmers you'll get bits flying everywhere. When I do that with a fluffier brush and these colors, you don't get nearly as much kick up as you normally would when you do that with some other shimmer formulas. The mattes in this palette, they do have a little bit of kick up, but I didn't tap my brush off most of the time, and I found that they didn't fly everywhere. They didn't get really messy on the eyes. I think that yes, they are a little bit powdery, but I think you can get away with not having to tap your brush off if you forget to. Like, it's not going to ruin your look. It didn't do it for me. I'm really enjoying these palettes. I think Kaleidos Makeup, like, they've knocked it out of the ballpark with these palettes. If you are interested in seeing the next first impressions, which is the Kaleidos Makeup Futurism I Cyber Bronze palette, I hope you consider subscribing so you can get notified when that video goes live. Make sure you let me know down in the comments box if you picked up these palettes and how you were enjoying them. Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up if you liked it, and also I hope you're having a fantastic day, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.